Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. This is iAllegedly, and I've got a good one for you today because thousands of you are about to lose your insurance. So before I get into it, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and there is no sponsor today. None at all, okay? Now, first things first, American National is an insurance company here in California and 7 other states. In California, they're going to stop writing policies immediately, okay? And they were purchased from Brookfield Asset Management a couple years ago for $5 billion. And they're saying we just can't afford it. And the reason why they can't afford it is how expensive it is to have claims settled for home improvements, to get things done. So to repair, to paint, to the fence blows over, it's too expensive to fix. Now, think about this. 36,475 people are getting a cancellation notice this month on their insurance. That's staggering, guys. Now think about this. In the Sierras right now, as I'm filming this video, there is the storm of the year, the biggest storm we've ever had. 100-mile-an-hour winds. Everything is just the greatest storm ever. And it's kind of windy out here too. Look at my hair, it's all messed up. Anyways, it's a mess. Now, if you don't think this is going to affect everything, you're kidding yourself. Also, what's going to affect things is the Panhandle fires in Texas. Wait till you see how many people lose insurance. Well, my house wasn't affected, Dan, but you don't understand. We take care of each other in Texas. Sure you do. You absolutely do, until somebody has to write a check. Remember that. There's one thing about hospitality, but there's one thing about paying up. And you're going to see that these insurance companies are sick of writing checks right now. Now, this goes to another thing. If you know of anybody who's buying a house right now, you'd have to be an imbecile to do that right now, because I got on the phone today with 3 insurance men. What's the property address? What are you looking at, Dan? I don't know if I can quote you. Wait a second. You guys have been able to quote, homeowners insurance policies over the phone in minutes. Yeah, things are a little different now, okay? So if you're gonna go out and buy that $1 million house that you really shouldn't, what's the insurance situation gonna be like? Seriously. Oh, we'll get it, it'll be reasonable. Okay. In the Insurance Journal, this is, somebody sent me this one, which I have never read, which I thought, oh my God, this is every insurance man's dream to read this magazine. But what's the best story, the top story in that? State Farm. They had record losses last year based on all the claims that they paid. And they said, listen, we finally got it figured out because we got the auto sector down to a reasonable amount of money and back to profitability. But the homeowner side, that's a real problem. They lost $14 billion last year. Read the story below. $14 billion. So if you think that they're going to be able to maintain that and be able to run a business losing $14 billion, $1.2 billion a month, it's kind of a lot, okay? It's not going to work, guys. It's not going to work. You're going to see more and more companies going out of business and more insurance companies leaving the state. I'm telling you this, guys. I don't care how long you've lived in your house. You better check your homeowner's insurance, and if you have a renter's policy, make sure you check your renter's policy. Man, I'm just getting blown all over the place here today. So check it, guys, because they're going to stop writing policies and you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt. But what's going to start happening, and my friend, they own the foreclosure companies. Now, guys, understand this. I don't get glee from people getting their houses foreclosed upon. What I'm trying to tell people is that there is a shift in real estate right now that is turning the corner in a negative direction. Without a doubt. Now, with everything that's going on in the economy right now, how about this one? The national debt. Our national debt goes up $1 trillion right now every 100 days. Read that story below too. So this is a fight that we are losing all the way around. You can't have companies losing money hand over fist They have to be able to make a profit. They need to be able to pay claims. They need to be able to have good service and not rip everybody off. Because one thing that started to happen, with my buddy got kicked out of State Farm, and he said, their biggest problem was the fact that they didn't want to pay on claims in a timely manner. So, okay. So be it. Good luck, guys. Feeding the birds. So, what are you going to do, guys? Seriously. I think that you're going to see restaurants go out of business. You're going to see more people shut down. But again, all my friends, what would you do right now, Dan, if you were in our position? I would work on my budget. I would get rid of everything that I don't need in my life right now. And I mean this, guys. Cars right now are going to go on sale like you've never seen before. I have a couple of vehicles that I want to sell right now, and I can get nothing near what I thought they were worth. Nothing. Not even close. So share your thoughts on this stuff, guys. And I may have a lead on a Cybertruck too. So stay tuned. Here's a situation that we're hearing more and more about, and that is that somebody opens up a checking account and there may be no activity for a while, then all of a sudden then they make a deposit and then the account gets frozen. Okay? Well, a woman went out because her brother's disabled, and he gets a disability check, and as his caregiver, she's allowed to maintain his books and have a checking account. So she sets up a checking account and is paying his bills and goes to buy him food one day last month and gets shut off, that the card's been shut off. And so she calls Chase Bank, and Chase Bank says, your account has been banned for suspicious activity. Like, what are you talking about? Now, she goes into the bank and the bank says, yeah, you don't have a Chase Bank account. Not only that, but again, whenever this happens, guys, they freeze the money, and they usually hold it. The shortest time I've ever heard is 45 days. Now, it can be 6 months, it can be 3 months, it can be 90 days, it can be whatever, but they definitely hold the money for you. So the worst part about this is that the woman's banned from having a checking account ever with Chase Bank. So if you know of anybody that's ever been reported to check systems, that's a disaster. Because not only can they shut your account down, but if you have existing checking accounts and they do a random check system audit, they'll shut your account down and seize the money and then wait for you to get it back. So if you like eating or paying your bills or, getting gas, there's something about having money in your account and having it be active. So again, a lot of crazy stuff like that happening. Another thing is, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but something I'm familiar with is called name and likeness. Like when I do a commercial, there's certain name and likeness deals when they go, oh, that's Dan, and Dan gets to get paid because it's Dan. Well, college athletes for decades have been complaining that they don't make any money. So they finally set up name and likeness deals. And some of these college athletes, let's face it, these kids go out, they play football, they play basketball, baseball, whatever, and they really don't make it to the big leagues, but they're very famous in school during these times. So what they've come up with is a program where it just got approved through the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commissions, where you can buy stock in a player and their future earnings. So you can basically, it's like the stock market for athletes. Isn't that crazy? So, I know a lot of degenerate gamblers that will think that this is the greatest thing ever, but I want to get this one player's name right because I had never heard of this guy. But it's going to be, let me look it up. I'm going to find it later. But anyways, a guy from the Denver Broncos is the first player that's going to have 1% of his earnings auctioned off, and you're going to be able to buy a percentage of that. So I don't know, if the guy makes $100 million, it's $1 million that you'd be able to be sharing and buying stock in. So I don't know how profitable this is going to be, but it's going to be interesting to say the least. So Would you bet on that? Does that interest you? You know? Over the course of the next month, you're going to see a lot of banking turmoil. A lot of things are going to get announced. And, New York Community Bank Corp, the stock keeps going down. It keeps diving because it keeps having financial difficulties. But this is just the beginning. There's going to be other banks that are going to have these problems as well. The next thing is the IRS has issued a warning for people that make over $400,000 a year that don't pay their taxes. Like, who does this? Could you imagine being older? Let's say you're 65, 70, you get interest income, and you make 400 grand a year and you don't file a tax return? How insane is that? Okay? So they're gonna start with those people first, and then people that make over 150,000, you're next. So they're coming after these people like you wouldn't believe. And I was like blown away. I'm like, who makes 400 grand and doesn't file a tax return? So what happened was the third parties, remember, they weren't going to report the income, then they are, then they're not. Well, they're reporting those W-2 and 1099s to people, and they're saying, we want you to match us up. If Dan gets a $400,000 W-2, we want to see the tax return that goes along with that and follows it up. So it's nice that they're going after the wealthier people. What do you think? I'm going to finish this video with these last couple stories. There is a house in New York that people bought for $2 million, 3,000 square feet, and the previous owners had a caretaker there. Caretaker said, I don't want to leave. The place is beautiful. I don't want to have, I don't have a place to go, so I'm just going to stay. So he's squatting in the house. So the new owners went out and hired a bodyguard, a famous bodyguard, Bill Gates' bodyguard, to stand outside. And this guy is, probably $3 grand a week to have this guy do what he does. And he's out in front of the house waiting for this guy. And again, the Large Lewis, philosophy, they're not going to let this guy just sit there. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. The story's below. You can check that out. The final thing is, when I was in the medical space, one thing that was presented to us quite a bit was Walmart doing Walmart labs and having medical procedures and things inside Walmart stores. They just got approved to have mammograms in certain Walmart stores as a test. Now, Joan, going to Walmart to get my mammogram. Now, I'm not making light of getting a mammogram, but that's wild that Walmart's doing this, okay? So, again, ladies, get your mammograms. Check it out, because I know somebody that passed away as a result of complications from breast cancer, but Walmart, okay? It's kind of crazy. So I wonder if it'll be $19 to get your mammogram, okay? Please don't forget to the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to join our email list. And onward and upward, guys. I will see you very soon.